I love technology.
I love technology.
Okay. Far out. What about that? What about that start? Hey there, fellow watchers. It's that time of the week again. Born to watch. Comedy's a tough gig. In fact, I think it's the hardest of the genres to nail. There's some movies that are instant comedy classics, movies that are funny from first watch and last a lifetime. Then there are some comedies that creep up on you. The t- Napoleon Dynamite is just that kind of comedy. For the first 3 or 4 times I watched this, I wasn't sure it was funny. And after this rewatch, I'm still not completely convinced. That is not to say I didn't enjoy it and certainly laughed all the way through. In almost 100 movies reviewed on Born to Watch, I haven't anticipated an episode more. And this one, I genuinely don't know how it's going to pan out. I wouldn't want to take this journey of uncertainty with 2 other people on the planet other than Damo. Welcome.
Thanks. And I'm feeling strong.
Feeling strong. You look
I feel like you could get me a Tupperware container and I could rip the thing apart.
good. And of course, joining us for our second time here on Born to Watch, royalty,
Oh yeah.
the world's greatest look back actor,
You're
Mr.
only saying that because it's true.
Mr. Michael Croker.
Thank you for having me back.
Mate, it's an absolute pleasure. Dressed for the occasion.
I did.
Oh, is that not you really?
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Croaksy, it's great to have you back. You were such a absolute resounding success for The Shining.
Right.
And this is when I reached out, I asked what you'd like to do. And I said you could do anything you want other than 2001.
Yes.
But I'm softening on that stance
That happens to everyone occasionally. Don't you be too paranoid about that.
as we get older.
That's just a part of the aging process.
That's it. But mate, what made you choose Napoleon Dynamite?
It's my favorite comedy of all time. It's a film that when I first started it, I was hearing so much about it. You got to watch this movie. It's the greatest. And I was a quarter of the way through it. I can still remember the first time I had it on. I was a quarter of the way through it. I was watching it with my wife. And I told her, we've got to sit and watch this. I've heard it's fantastic. It was a Saturday afternoon. And I got as far as the wrestling figure being dragged behind the bus.
Oh, it's slow at the beginning,
And-
90 seconds.
And the
Yeah.
shot just sits on that.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember looking over at her and saying, I don't know what this is, but I'm not going to sit here and do this. And I turned it off. I went upstairs and I thought, look, it's been given to me. Watch it. I've been told by someone I respect, got to watch it. I'll put it on again. She's downstairs. There was a scene that happens in a classroom and it hit me. It was like a light switch.
Right.
I started laughing. I was laughing so naturally and so loudly. She was laughing as she came up the stairs because, you know, that infectious kind of
Yeah,
natural laugh when
yes,
someone
yeah,
has.
absolutely.
What's going on? I got to see.
Yeah, she said, "What is it? What are you laughing at?" And I said to her, I'm in. I get it. Something clicked, and from that moment on, the movie has just been a big love of mine. I think there's so much in it that works. I love the fact that it's a singular vision from the director. It's uncompromising. It knows what it is, and it owns that, and it demands of you as a viewer to get into its rhythm. You've got to sit there and I've often said Napoleon Dynamite's like watching a candle burn. You know, you got to
commit.
you got to commit,
Yeah.
and you just got to sit in it and let it reveal itself to you. But if you're there waiting for a film that follows traditional structure in 3 acts and narrative through lines, you're going to be sorely disappointed. That's why I think the film's jarring for a lot of people.
Yeah, you're right. But the fact that you have it obviously means so much to you to come to the podcast method style. You've he's got the wig on, right?
Such
So
an
he's
idiot.
he's been doing the impersonations not only of Napoleon but of Kip, of Rex Kwon-Do. Mate, you obviously do love this movie.
Forget about it.
There
Yeah,
you
you've
go.
made about 17 quotes already
Yeah,
since
I
you've
know.
been in, Croaksy. Now, look, strap yourself in Vote for Born to Watch, and we'll make all your dreams come true. Overs and unders. 2004, 20 years old this year. It seems older. When you watch it, it seems like it's an older film, which is part of the charm, I think. It really is. The soundtrack, the way it looks, everything, the, uh, the outfits, everything screams 80s, not 2004. Gonna set, because it's niche, gonna set the bar at 10 here. We're gonna start with Damo.
Well, and you said because you're never sure what year it's set.
Yes.
Like if well, you do because the music gives it away that they're dancing to. But a common question is, what year is this set? And the answer is Idaho.
You got it.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
and the thing. So for me, I've seen so many snippets of the show, but
Yes.
as a full watchers, I've only I've seen it 3 times, but I've seen scenes, memes, hundreds of times.
It's another one that is deep in the pop culture.
Mm.
Yeah.
And there's not many weeks that would go past without seeing, I reckon, seeing something on social media. There's something about Napoleon Dynamite. There's a meme, there's something.
Yep.
Croaksy, being your favorite comedy of all time, are you over or under 10 watches? Where would you sit?
I'm sitting at about 15 easily.
Yes. And the first time you saw it was that Saturday afternoon with the missus?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, I am about the same as you, Craig. So I'd say I would be between 10 to 15, maybe a little bit north of it. And pretty much I was introduced to this when I had the video shop.
Mm.
So I didn't see this at the cinema. And it was one of those ones that the kids that I hired, and we're talking like 15, 16, 17-year-old, mainly females, were all over this.
Right.
All over this. And it was one of those ones where I was very loath to admit or to allow anyone else to think they knew more about it than I did.
Right. Okay.
But once it got put on, the first time I saw it, it was in the shop. So I caught snippets. And I think for me, I think that was a really good introduction for me because because I distinctly remember the steak in the face.
Yeah.
Uncle Rico throwing the steak in the face, and I was hooked. I was like, I have to now sit and watch this whole thing because it's still today. I watched this the other night. I was losing my shit when he throws the steak and hits him in the face.
It's a great moment.
But the best bit I think was that he grabbed Kip's steak.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yes. Watch this.
It's not his steak.
So look, yeah, over about with you, Craig. I'd say 15 is probably a safe bet. Now this is on the back of the VHS cover. Napoleon Dynamite is a new kind of hero, complete with a tight fro, sweet moon boots, and skills that can't be topped. Napoleon spends his days drawing mythical beasts, duking it out with his brother Kip, and avoiding his scheming Uncle Rico. When 2 new friends enter Napoleon's life, Shy Deb and mustachioed Pedro, the trio launches a campaign to elect Pedro for class president and make the student body's wildest dreams come true.
Yes.
But if Pedro is to beat stuck-up Summer, Napoleon will have to unleash his secret weapon.
Wow.
Pretty much explains it without giving anything away.
Well, yeah, there is a story line in there, but as Craig said, it's not act 1, 2, and 3 really, but there is a little story about, I suppose, the running for president. I suppose that's the story.
Well, if I was to ask you, Craig, before we get to the trailer, because the trailer gives nothing away, but if I was to ask you what is this movie about to someone that has never seen it, how would you explain it?
It's a coming of age story. And this is the thing I love about this film. I think it's 2 movies in one. I think at one level, it's an absurdist comedy. And you can watch it as an absurdist comedy and just let it be that. And I think underneath that, in the subtext, is a coming of age. And it's the story of outsiders, I think, all looking to escape and find something, for something to happen, even down to the time machine moment, right?
Yeah.
And as funny as that is,
Turn it off.
Wait a minute.
Turn it off.
Wait a minute. I got to put in the crystals. As ridiculous as it is, I think it's all about escape. There's a theme there about escape and the desire for acceptance. And if someone was to ask me what it's about, I think it's about the coming of age. And I know I'm jumping right ahead here, but you see the protagonist as a loner from the outset, and in the final scene, the final shot of the film, he's no longer alone.
Yeah.
And I've heard people argue. I heard a review once that said watching Napoleon Dynamite was worse than watching a train crash, because at least in a train crash, something's happening and things are changing. And I thought to myself, oh, come on, things change, particularly if you hang around for the end credits.
Yeah.
There is more going on in that film that at first glance. That's why I say it's two films in one. It's an absurdist comedy. That piece you just read from the back of the VHS, I think reads like it's telling you this is an absurdist comedy.
Yeah.
But I think if you sit there and meditate on it at another level, it's about coming of age and it's about acceptance. It's also about self-acceptance, which Napoleon finally does in the climax of the film.
Yeah.
And is selfless.
It's definitely a movie that reveals more the more you watch it. I think it's more than meets the eye. There's no doubt about that.
That's what great art should do, right? And
for sure.
good cinema, good storytelling should reveal itself in layers. And that's why I think it's, for those that are quick to slam it, I think I'm missing something really wonderful about this film.
A very interesting trailer. Doesn't give much away at all.
There's like a buttload of gangs at this school. This one gang kept wanting me to join because I'm pretty good with a bow staff. It's a great trailer.
Well, you do get to know Napoleon in that trailer. You understand his personality, it's just such a drama, every single thing, or he just over exaggerates every single thing.
Yeah. When he takes a drink of that
Just
drink after the dancing, it's freaking hilarious.
Just that drinking technique. Who drinks like
He's got that character so defined in his mind.
Yeah.
And every little move is for a reason.
Yeah.
Got me wonder whether that's really him. Like it's got to be a part of his personality deep down within.
But everyone went to school with these kids, and the director actually wrote it based on real kids that he went to school with.
Yeah.
The director was 25
Yeah.
doing this film. He can remember school pretty clearly.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There'd be smarter people than me that will know. Was it 400,000?
400,000.
The budget.
And it made 46 million.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah, a
1,000
combination of
times.
box office and video.
And Jon Heder's wage?
Yeah, who knows?
$1,000.
Is that a fact?
$1,000.
He's done some short stuff for free before.
Right.
They've done a short of this, and then they made it into the feature.
Yes.
Got paid $1,000 for
But
it.
he did end up getting $1 million retro sent to him after it was successful, or when the DVD came out.
I met him briefly
video.
at a supernova.
I saw the photo.
Saw the photo.
You know how many times Croaks has been on and talks about how he knows?
No, I don't know.
I mean, no, sorry, Morgs. Sorry, I'm getting this.
Yes.
Morgs knows everyone.
Yeah.
I've met him. Croaks is actually, there's a photo with him and Jon Heder. It's like, this is for real.
Yeah.
It was. I went to a Q&A that he was doing about the film and about his career, and I remember I put my hand up and he's like, yeah, and I asked him a question and I said, it was more of a compliment. I think I said to him, you brought a lot of humanity to that role. I got a lot of humanity out of that. Was that a conscious choice to humanize him? And I was waiting for him to give me this profound response of, yeah, man, that's exactly what I was going for. But he laughed and he went, humanity? I said, yeah, I really genuinely think for me, there was a lot of humanity in that character. Yeah, I guess so. A lot of humor. Yeah. And I thought, maybe, you know how fans are, like even fans of Kubrick, maybe you dig deeper than what's happening.
There's that layer. Look, you've gone another layer deep. You've, mate, pull back.
Do you remember, just a sidebar, Marathon Man with Laurence Olivier
Absolutely.
and Dustin Hoffman? And there's
Roy Scheider.
Yeah, there you go. There's a scene where on the day of shooting, Hoffman's character had to appear as if he'd been awake for almost 48 hours. And he's ragged and he's exhausted and he's a bit manic. And so Hoffman, who knows I'm opposite Olivier, does that, stays up for that amount of time, denies himself sleep, denies himself food, turns on to set, and that's what's in the film. And he's describing what his approach was to Olivier, waiting for Olivier to tell him, this is amazing and this is wonderful. And Olivier looks at him, and Hoffman
Mm.
tells the story, and Olivier just kind of slowly shakes his head and says, "Just act, my dear being." It's one of the greats of all time, just telling, "Just act."
Yeah.
Well, isn't that what
Act
it's
like you're
about?
starving. Act like you haven't slept for
Yeah,
4 hours.
Isn't that what it's about? Like, you're not supposed to be actually really doing it.
Well,
All right. Critical thinking. IMDb has this movie rated 7 out of 10. Certified fresh on the tomato meter, 72%, with a 74% audience score. No, it's all hovering around the same.
Mm.
But, it would be interesting because there would be a lot of people that would give it zeros and ones and
I
whatever,
would've-
which would bring that average down to 70, I think.
I actually would have thought that the critical rating would be much higher than an audience rating here. It might be a bit more of a critical darling
Mm.
than that, but
Audience darling, definitely, yeah.
got a couple reviews here.
Okay.
Got a good review
Let's
from
hear
an
it.
old mate of ours.
Oh! Can we do it?
We can. Buddy Dominic. Okay, James Baradinelli
Yeah.
from Real Views.
Yeah.
With a low-key sense of humor and without the slightest whiff of sentimentality, Hess delivers a film about geeks that makes Revenge of the Nerds look like the Hollywood tripe that it is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Obviously not a huge fan of
But-
Revenge of the
but-
Nerds.
yeah, but you
Must
know-
be the Darth Vader rape scene.
Oh. But that's the thing though. Revenge of the Nerds, there's people, they really nerded up, right? You got
Yes.
Poindexter and whatever the crew is and Booger, and they're over the top. These are just
Lamar.
these are just normal people. We all went to school with someone like this. So they're very dorky, they're very nerdy, but they're definitely more real than the Revenge of the Nerds because they are over the top nerds.
Well, I can't see Napoleon putting on a Darth Vader mask and performing the art of cunnilingus.
It'd be hard with the mask on.
Well, he did it.
Well, he's an absolute one of the most talented people going. That's skills.
His skills. It's not rape.
That's skills.
It's skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, righto. Fair enough.
What do you think of that good review?
Yeah, look, you were just saying something there a minute ago about people. I think you were inferring people can see themselves in this film. Well, they knew kids.
Yes.
Yes.
I can tell you, I can see a lot of me in some of these.
Drawing a
characters.
liger at your house.
I was drawing ligers.
Yeah.
It's the mystic powers.
It's only like the most amazing animal.
Yes.
And I can remember there was a school friend I had in about grade 5. His name was Adam. And what was interesting about Adam, he had this farm. The family lived on this multi-acres farm, and it was huge. So going there was a big adventure. You know how some memories are a little faded and other memories are in 4K? This one's in 4K.
Yeah.
I go there for a day trip. Mum and Dad dropped me off. It's a big trip to drive out to the farm. I'm there with his dad and Adam, and we're looking at a pen with cows, and I'm patting them. And there's this one beautiful cow. I can still remember patting her face as I'm sitting up on the fence, and I'm patting her. And he's kind of laughing and looking back at the house and telling me, "Yeah, give her a pat." And I'm giving her a pat. And he's looking back at his dad, and his dad's walking out from the house with
Oh,
a smile on
God.
his face, holding a shotgun.
Oh, geez.
And I don't have the experience to figure what's happening.
Yeah. 2 and 2 together.
I'm just patting the cow, watching
Yeah.
Dad walk out with a gun in his hand.
Yeah.
And I don't come from a farm life. I don't know what this means, but they're both kind of smiling at each other. And then the dad comes up, says something while I'm patting and asks me to move away.
Stand back, please.
Point blank, shoots the cow.
Jeez.
And there's a scene, obviously, in the first
Yes.
act
Yeah, with the bus pulls
where
up.
the bus pulls up. That's based on the director's own real
Real
experience.
experience, yes.
And I remember watching that scene thinking, as ridiculous that
That
is,
happened to me.
I've had the experience.
Shit.
And I remember watching the cow fall to the ground, and I was so upset. It was a call home. Mum and Dad had to come and pick me
Oh,
up
jeez.
because I couldn't stay there.
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything killed before.
You mean you didn't eat steak for every meal of
I
your...
tended not to eat steak, but I did like picking it up and throwing it at my
Oh,
brother.
yeah.
Yes, well, there you
Yeah.
go.
Cow
There you
killer.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember seeing that in the film thinking, wow, there you go. Well, it brought it all rushing back to me
Yeah. PTSD.
a little bit.
Definitely.
Okay, we've got a bad review here. Jeff Strickler of the Minneapolis Star Tribune. Calling this story about a quirky high school student from a dysfunctional family who lives in a goofy small town, a one Jake movie, is exaggerating it by a factor of 10.
Whoa. He didn't like it. No, but if you don't buy into it, and you know what? If you watch it once, I get it. This isn't the movie that you watch once. It's you could watch this once, and then Croaks, you might say a little quote to me, and I'll laugh my head off.
Genie, you fat lord. Come and get your
The
dinner.
thalata. So, but when you watch the first time, you don't
The
appreciate it.
size.
It's not as funny. But when you start discussing it further with other people, or you watch it again, it becomes funnier. So I would say there would have been a heap of bad reviews from a one watch.
Yeah.
What from a one watch, there'd be more bad reviews than good reviews. Ask him to watch it 5 times or have a chat about it with his mates. He'll have a different review.
Yeah.
It's just this movie that just it grows on you. The more you discuss it, there's the thing. My rating at the end here, I've got it set, but I'm going to determine how much we laugh about it more here today. Will actually influence my
And
end rating.
I said before is that I'm an open book here. I haven't decided what I'm gonna rate it. I'm easily going to be swayed here.
Yeah.
Okay, ordinary people, a huge cast of huge names that went on to huge careers after this movie. We'll start with the star of the show, Jon Heder,
Closest mate.
Napoleon, Croaks' mate here. Obviously, starred in Benchwarmers, Blades of Glory, and Surf's Up within about 12 months of this film,
Yeah.
and then essentially disappeared.
Well, he's done the Comic Con circuit.
And the animated series of Napoleon.
He did
as
the
well.
animated series of Napoleon, but essentially has done really nothing now. He moved out of LA. I think he lives in Washington or something now. He was never really bought into the Hollywood sort of scene, so he moved away. But do we think this, as much as this movie made him a star, essentially, did it also really pigeonhole him and didn't really give him? He's not been able to do what Adam Sandler's been able to do. He's not been able to break out of that mold.
Yeah.
And
No, I think you're right.
I think because if you look at the role in Benchwarmers, he essentially plays Napoleon
Yeah.
in Benchwarmers.
But even Blades of Glory.
In Blades of
with the
Glory,
blonde
he's
wig and
essentially
yeah,
Napoleon.
Yeah.
And in Surf's Up, well, he's the voice of Chicken Joe, but that's probably as loose as he gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sort of made him and broke him.
Yeah, sort of gawky comedies only.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And that's but he does them well, but yeah, you're right. He's probably has been pigeonholed.
Yeah, and
As
look,
that.
you see that story a lot in Hollywood, right? You do something that's so defined, it's so specific, and it's very hard then for anyone to cast you in
Yeah.
something other than.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're right, Sandler's a bit of a unicorn there. He's managed to
Or
continue.
Ben Stiller as well.
Yeah, Stiller as well. It might just be that, who knows? I wouldn't like to even pretend to know what kind of range John's got as an actor beyond what we see there. But you're right, the choices thereafter kind of kept him in the same kind of slipstream.
Yeah, for sure. Not much, just he's jobbed on TV a bit, and he hasn't really done much.
No, he hasn't.
But then again, no one has out of this movie, really. Tina Majorino,
Yeah. Deb.
she was the young girl in Waterworld. Shout out to Sonny Payne.
One of the greats. I did watch the Waterworld show when I was in Universal Studios in December.
Yeah, there you go.
That was the show that show they put on is definitely better than the movie.
Did the guy have gills?
Real guilt. He swam
And the
underwater.
baddie have one eye? Look, and she essentially just became a TV jobber after this.
Yeah.
It's incredible. She's better than being a TV jobber,
Yeah, she was great in this.
but she's essentially she didn't really do any films ever after this.
No.
Yeah, it's interesting how it works, isn't it? Sometimes it just doesn't crackle for some people after the
Yeah.
fact.
It's a tough, mate. Being an actor's a tough gig.
Oh, look, don't get me started. There's so many stories.
Oh, well, as a look
so
back actor.
many stories.
I can imagine. But the heartbreak, the heartache.
But I think, as you said before, the cultural impact of this film is seismic. It's just hit 20 years,
Yeah.
the 20-year anniversary this year. So, and we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
But it also might be one of the other side of the coin is that like Jon Heder got paid $1 million retrospectively. You got to wonder what the royalties are for something like this moving on, whether they're still being paid moving
There
on.
was definitely a deal worked out with, I think, with whoever produced the video and the DVD, because I guarantee you they're still, or even streaming, it's still happening now.
Yeah, for
today.
sure.
It's still churning along.
For sure.
Well, I think the biggest star probably in this movie is Diedrich Bader.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably the most recognizable person.
He's in a lot of movies, TV shows.
I'm surprised they didn't do more with that character and a guy with those chops. You know, there's talk that Jake Gyllenhaal was up for that role and was being approached.
Well, I haven't heard Jack Black as well.
Yeah, Jack
Yeah,
Black.
Jack Black. Yeah.
What are you, sensei? And when they eventually got the guy, what was the guy's name again? Is it
Diedrich Bader.
Yeah, there we go. When they got him, it's such a terrific performance. You would have thought there'd be more.
Yeah, utilize him a bit more, but but see, when normally Gao sits in that seat, and Gao is our
Right.
martial
Martial
arts
arts expert.
Right.
and we've done Pensac Salat when we did the raid. You know,
Yes,
that was
we
the
did.
immersion. And Muay Thai you had the other week with
Yes, kickboxer.
Rex Kwon Do. Where is that sitting in the? We need Gao here. Really,
We
to
actually
tell us.
probably will get. We'll need Gao to comment next week when he's back.
To me, it's maybe one of the most powerful forms of martial arts.
Well, it's
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 8-week course.
without a doubt one of the best head slaps going around.
But-
just the head slap.
I mean,
I just love it.
Wrist walk away.
Break the wrist,
Walk away.
but just the head slap.
But how
It's powerful.
How did he dodge Kip's leg sweep so
Unbelievable.
amazingly?
Look,
Kip leg sweep.
how Kip was managed to hold his balance because it was that slow. Like incredible,
Yeah, Rex Kwon Do.
incredible. So then really John Grease, who plays Uncle Rico. Now, you might remember him as the homeless man in Seinfeld,
Oh,
who finds George's wig after Elam throws it out of the window.
Yeah.
I don't like
That's
and throws it out of the window, and he walking along just picks it up and just places it on his
That's
head
great.
and walks off. Very funny.
well, because he obviously. So he was wearing a wig as Rico. Then he's bald
Yeah, he's bald. That is a wig.
because he was also one of the mates in Taken.
Taken. He's
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
CIO
right.
operatives.
Yeah,
Uncle
nice.
Rico,
Yeah,
operative, Black Ops.
I think that's probably the standout performance right there next to Jon Heder. It's,
Uncle Rico's incredible.
yeah, it's
Uncle Rico he's layered, man.
Yeah.
Because he is ultimately fucking super creepy.
Yeah,
that's
yeah, I
right.
know.
But he's ultimately a broken human being
Yeah.
because he wants to make state. You know,
Well, no,
82.
what-
Could have gone back to 82. Would have won
High
state.
school, but he wasn't even in the team. If the coach put me
Yeah,
on,
he's living in a different timeline.
There's a shot, that opening shot of him. Is it an El Camino? Is that what that is?
his van,
His
yeah.
van, yeah.
There's a shot, like this wide shot with his clothes hanging on a line.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
He's
God.
throwing the
Throwing
ball
the
to his video.
to the video. That shot is like a piece of art. You could take a still of that and frame it. And in that few seconds, it tells you everything you need to know
Yeah,
about that character.
man.
We could throw that ball over that mountain.
It tells you everything you need to know.
I could throw a pigskin quarter mile.
I can tell you that performance he gives where he's sitting on the stoop, is that right? Right out
Yes.
front of the house?
Yeah.
And he's telling Kip about what he could have been.
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's just a little moment in his eyes when he looks out into the horizon. And it's a terrific dramatic scene in an absurdist comedy
Correct.
framing.
Yes.
Yeah. The subtlety in that scene, which is back to my point earlier, the story of all these people on the outside looking to be on the inside and be more and escape. And I think that character embodies all of that. Then on top of it, there's that creepy factor, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The
Selling the bus must.
Hey,
one-
Trisha.
the one scene that still hits me is when he's sitting on the couch with Kip and Napoleon, and he's watching his videos back.
Oh,
Napoleon's like,
that.
this
That's
is only
one
the
of my
worst
fav-
video
that's-
ever made.
Yeah, that's what it's focused.
But there's a scene where he pats Kip on the left knee and says, hey, look at this. What do you
Yeah.
think? And he taps him on the knee, and Kip looks at him, and he looks at Kip, and then slowly pulls his hand
Yes.
off his knee
Right.
and looks back at the television. And they only leave it there for a heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah,
So
like-
in that one moment, there's
Question.
enough to go, well, what is that?
What's that about?
What is that about?
Yeah.
I love the fact how he was enjoying watching that video so much of him playing, NFL
Oh my
gridiron,
God.
just
It's so bad.
throwing the ball as the quarterback. It is just so funny.
Terrific.
But he also, did you remember him in the cafe when he's sitting there with Kip? He's just looking at his biceps all the
And
time.
when
Yeah.
he puts his
Just
hands,
looking at his arms.
yeah,
just
puts his
looking-
hands under, folds his
Yeah,
arms, and he's
Yeah, so
squeezing
yeah, reliving his
It's
glory
a very subtle performance.
That's it. You got it.
And I think that there's a lot of nuances to it. And I think that the more, again, it's one of those ones where the more you watch it, the more you can respect the quality of that character.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Because he's without a doubt my favorite character.
Oh, is he? Yeah,
I think he really is. Like, I think the movie misses something if you don't have Uncle Rico, because he is He's horrendous.
He was.
He
There's
gets the best line. Sorry, but I think he gets the best line in the film toward the end, in the third act, where Summer's at the checkout at the store, and he tells Napoleon, "Go and get you and your brother some Pampers."
yes,
Come buy some diapers. And there's this
Yeah.
look in his face.
Summer's just like,
Why would you say that? Have you- I don't know. Do we need to, or have we broken down, I guess, where we are in this film in terms of where it begins, where it ends up at the midpoint? Like, in terms of what this story is about and where does it go? Because it's unusual, right? Because the scenes are breaking with tradition. They're not propelling a story necessarily. They're almost like a series of sketches.
little snippets.
it
That's what
does.
yeah.
It does feel like a sketch comedy.
In
Yes,
bits there,
it really
just
does.
little bits just put in.
But I think what Hess is going for there is that the observation of life is where the comedy is. Like that long shot of the wrestler again at the back of the bus. Whatever I want to. Gosh.
Yeah.
You know, and it sits there, and I think it's setting that tone that everything's kind of about the observation.
Yeah.
That's where the comedy is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Look, 46 million worldwide on a $400,000 budget, 100 times return. I said 1,000 before; it was ridiculous. 100 times return. Now, last week, Galaxy Quest, 2 times return.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
$46 million budget, $92 million it did.
Yep.
This is 100 times. Someone's rich here.
Yeah.
Someone's really wealthy.
Yep.
It won some awards. Napoleon Dynamite.
Are we academies?
MTV Movie
Best
TV
Kiss?
Award Best Movie,
Wow.
Oh, did it?
2005.
There you go.
Did it win anything at the Beijing Crying Monkey Awards?
No, it didn't win any Crying Monkeys.
No. Okay.
Jon Heder, Teen Choice Award for the Best Movie Music Breakdown.
It probably helps that MTV produced this movie too.
There you go.
Yeah. MTV Award Best Breakthrough Performance, Jon Heder.
I'm sure it cleaned up. Yeah, probably cleaned up.
MTV Award for Best Musical Sequence.
I
Teen
agree.
Choice Award for dance movie.
Yes.
That's a very demo.
You know what? The other week you
Kickboxer.
you described Kickboxer as a dance action movie.
It's one of the
right?
greatest dance action
This
movies
is a
ever
dance
made.
comedy.
Wow.
This-
Never heard that theory.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm calling this a dance comedy.
A dance comedy.
Yeah, they don't make them, but this is a dance comedy.
Yeah, okay.
Well, just that one scene.
Well, there's two. You get the Backstreet Boys piece too, right?
Yeah,
Lots-
larger
Yeah,
than
yeah.
life. Yeah.
Oh my God,
Down,
the
down,
happy
down.
hands or clappy hands.
Oh,
whatever.
and then you got Happy Hands singing
Happy
the
Hands,
rose.
Yeah.
Some say love
is
is a river.
Sign dancing. I didn't know it was a thing. Didn't know it was a thing. All right.
Hey, sorry, can we just talk about it? I've got to say, God bless him. For me, the worst performance in that film for me,
Oh, please.
it's got to be Don, the jock.
The boyfriend
The
of,
jock.
of Summer.
He gets that same look on his face.
God.
What about this kind of? He's got one of those really, people talk in high school about, hey, you got a punchable face.
Yes,
yeah,
he
yeah.
does.
I think he's well cast.
Yeah,
But,
he is.
he looks like a 35-year-old teenager.
He
Well,
does.
were.
They all were though.
Yeah.
But I guess the thing that really annoys me about him is the class president speeches and performances when they're dancing,
Oh, it was funny.
and he's like, like I'm rooting her.
Yeah, he was in the audience dancing along, just like
Yeah.
the mum was dancing along with the girls in Mean Girls.
Yeah,
When they
and
were
the,
doing
and the
that.
principal at
Yeah.
stage left.
They just give
Yeah.
you a heartbeat moment. Leers. And it's
Yes,
just enough to go,
yes.
what?
Yeah, I'm going, you creepy fuck.
But it's again, everyone's an outsider. Even
Yeah.
the guy that thinks he's the jock
Yes.
is still somehow an outsider.
That's right. Yeah.
And everyone's stuck in time. It is set in 2004, but
Yeah.
I think as Jared Hess was quoted as saying, life living in Preston, Idaho
Yeah.
felt like 1984.
Yes.
Yes.
And
That's
so
Idaho.
you're just back behind all of it. you
Yep.
know?
Okay, we'll move into 2004 hit sleeper dud. Now Croaksy's going to tell us what he thinks his hit for the year was.
Have we actually sent out who's
I'm,
doing what?
I'm
'Cause I've
going to
done
do
all
the
three
sleeper.
again.
You're doing the
Okay,
dud.
fair enough. Lucky I did all three again.
Croaksy?
Well, I don't know how prepared I am here, but we're talking 2004.
Yeah.
right?
What was released?
For me, it's The Life Aquatic, Wes Anderson.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
And
there's a theme going on here.
There's connective tissue there, I
Yeah.
think, in terms of tone. I think that's as Bill Murray has ever gotten.
Yep.
And I think it's also one of the most original, unique Willem Dafoe performances that you'll find. And you get David Bowie songs sung on acoustic guitar in French
Oh,
in the
really? Oh,
soundtrack.
jeez.
That movie has got its own aesthetic. It's typically Wes Anderson, of course, but it knows what it is. It doesn't apologize for it, and I think that's a multi-layered comedic masterpiece as well.
Okay, I speak ad nauseum on this podcast about my hatred for Wes Anderson
Yeah,
films.
Right.
He's very.
Really?
I really, and you know what? Life Aquatic's the one I've tried the most with. I really have.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm smart enough to get them.
yeah.
I
I'll
don't
have to
think
give it
I'm
another
smart
go.
enough. And I keep wanting to revisit, and after this, Croaksy, I'll probably revisit The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou because I love Bill Murray. I think he's great. But God, Wes Anderson, what a fuckwit.
Yeah.
Well, he's like the darling of Hollywood, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
They just love him.
And I think sometimes with his work, it can be tone and production design over narrative.
Yes.
But I also think I don't mind being challenged by filmmakers. I like the fact that I might not be able to like something first up. I think if it challenges me to have to go in deeper and open up another part of me, I'm willing to give it a chance. I think Anderson's great at creating work that does that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm with you. Okay. So I'll go my sleeper for the year, and this is the anti-Anderson. This is one of the greatest action duos in the history of cinema. Director, star. Tony Scott, Denzel Washington,
Yes.
Man on Fire.
Almost
Okay.
picked it.
Denzel Washington, Dakota Fanning, who have recently just gotten back together for the first time since this
Mhm.
movie in Equalizer 3, which is a
Oh, yeah.
good end
Is it?
to the trilogy.
It's better than
Okay.
2.
It is. I didn't mind 3. It's a bit
Yeah.
slow at the start,
Yeah.
but God, it finishes quickly and he kicks some ass.
Some good villains, too.
Good villains.
Always good villains.
Good villains.
Yeah.
Okay, in Mexico City, a former CIA operative swears vengeance on those who committed an unspeakable act against the family he was hired to protect. Now, this is Rada Mitchell,
Yep. The Aussie.
the Aussie.
Yep.
And it is a good movie.
Mm.
It's a good action movie. It's probably a tad long. It probably saves it from being a hit for me.
Mm.
It's a good movie. It is a tad long. The most, if I say memorable scene from Man on Fire, grenade up the bum.
Yes.
Grenade up the bum. There's nothing more to say.
Saturday night.
Killed a guy by
What else?
sticking a grenade up his bum.
Top 5 Denzel for me. And I think
Yeah.
that I'm still a big fan of Book of Eli, but I think
It's a good movie.
I think Man on Fire is. I almost chose that one. I realized
Yeah.
how prepared you were and how
Yeah.
lack of preparation I had.
Oh, no,
That's
I'm
okay.
so
Synopsis
like you.
there.
This is
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
Oh, no, I
It's
don't
okay.
do. I just remember it and go,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I
So
don't feel so
you'll
bad.
see. You won't feel so bad after Damo
Yeah.
does his dud.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy. So, do you know another one that I think is underrated from Denzel? And
Yep.
it's Tony Scott again.
Mhm.
Deja Vu.
There you go.
Great movie. Set in New
We did
Orleans.
discuss this the other
Oh,
week.
mate, I love it.
Haven't seen it.
It's a
Put
cop,
it down. Have a watch.
It's a
Yeah.
cop movie that turns into a completely different type of movie.
It's a bit. You know what it's like? It's a bit like Dusk Till Dawn.
exactly what I was thinking.
You know what I
Really?
mean?
Yep,
Because
it's
it
exactly what
starts
I was
one
thinking.
way
Yeah,
and then just takes a turn.
it's just like what
Okay.
they're going there.
And a reasonable a reasonable late career performance from Val Kilmer.
Right. All right.
Plays a copper who's to do with the mission that they're on.
Mhm.
Yep.
Good. Now, Damo, what is your dud for
Oh,
2004?
You were talking that your movie was a tad long. I'm going for one that is about 50 tads too long, and that's Alexander with Colin Farrell.
Oh.
Wow.
Do you know what though? Is that Ridley Scott?
I think it was.
I think it is Ridley
was
Scott.
this epic, and it was slow,
There is a
boring.
it is a much better movie as a director's cut, as a longer
Okay.
film.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. Well, I didn't inflict myself through that.
No, it's not ideal. I've got to
Yeah.
say, Alexander is
Yeah,
not
it was
great.
just such a disappointment. Yeah, because it was like you're thinking, oh, Gladiator, whatever, going to be, but yeah, nothing.
Speaking of Denzel, he's in Gladiator too.
He
Yeah.
is, yeah. Is he the Gladiator in it?
Is it? No, I don't think he
Or is
is.
he like?
But it is getting incredible reviews.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. I'm a bit like you, Croaksy, but I'm gonna go and see it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a first weeker.
Fair enough.
You got any thoughts on narrative? Do we know what the synopsis?
No,
No.
well, it's apparently it's Maximus's son
Yes.
is in it, and so is I think it is the son of Is it? I've got a feeling it's got something to do with Joaquin Phoenix's is a
Right.
relative of him as well. So it's obviously of after the fact, obviously, but
Well, he was
It-
he had a nephew. He had his sister had the
yeah,
son.
he did have a nephew. Yeah.
I hope we don't get like a Creed scenario.
Yeah,
where
I hope so. I agree.
Drago's
Oh,
son gets Creed's son,
about
Apollo's
That was
boy.
sad.
Commodus's.
And that
Well,
was bad.
his family's dead, isn't it? But yeah, Commodus' long lost son's come back from
Yeah.
somewhere.
I always
mean,
thought for me that film was its own thing. That's why I bring it back. I guess I'm glad there's never been a Napoleon sequel.
Mm.
It just doesn't need it.
No, it doesn't need
You know,
it.
it's a contained.
Well, there's a lot
universe.
of there's a lot of
yeah.
movies that don't need sequels.
Mm.
This is definitely one of them. All right. Yeah. So Alexander, that's a good dud. I'm with you on that one, Damo. Okay. Question time.
I see you drinking 1%. Is that because you think you're fat?
Because you're not. Mate, there's a better line to do with her.
Yeah. What is it?
There's a better line to do with
Oh,
her.
I know the best
and
line.
it is. Hang on, I'm going to use one of my quotables here. I'm trying to earn money for college.
Yes.
Your mum goes to college.
Yes.
Yeah. Your mum
Yes.
goes to college. That's my favourite line.
And
in
they
the movie.
leave the camera
Oh
on Kip
my
long enough. This
God.
little smirk.
Oh
This
yeah,
little
It's like
oh.
that's his burn. Your
Yeah.
mum goes to
And
college.
she lost it.
She lost it.
It's
Dude, she's
gone.
like the sickest burn
Your
ever.
mum
Yeah.
goes to college.
Oh.
If you go back and
Oh
watch
my
that
God.
scene, there's a shot. There's a shot looking in at Napoleon in the doorway, and you can see the entire crew in the
Oh.
reflection of his
Oh,
glasses.
oh, really?
God.
Looking back and
Well,
getting
that-
the shot. And
There's a lot of those groups.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because they cut back to her on a tight and have her reaction, then cut back to him.
Yep.
And
Or to Napoleon.
and still there.
Yeah.
And I think I love the fact they go, they come back. We're all still in that shot,
They
guys.
don't care.
That's
They don't care.
$400,000 budget.
But for me, that's just another element of its charm,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay. Is there a worse place to live than this town?
Yes.
I grew up in Wagga Wagga,
Oh,
which was
There has to be some
no,
similarities.
come on. Wagga's good. I used to go there every year for the picnic races. No, the town of Perfection in Tremors.
what a great
Oh, that
name.
is a shit town. Perfection.
Population of 10 with a like a mini mart.
Egg Shen.
Yeah, egg shit. I don't think there's a worse town than that one.
The Perfection is bad.
Perfection in Tremors. Yeah.
Okay. Has
It's probably safer to mention places that don't exist, isn't it?
yeah.
And to come out and say,
Oh, Wagga Wagga shit house.
and for the record, I never said it was shit house.
Yeah. You just said you grew up in Wagga Wagga.
There were some good memories there. What do you want from this?
Yeah. Okay. Has
Thanks, Jon Heder.
good sign. Good sign. Has anyone on planet Earth ever had scrambled egg water to drink?
Oh, I wasn't sure about that lunch that they had.
Oh,
there.
the lunch is
Was
sickening.
Was it just like a Rocky?
It was
like 4 eggs.
Yeah, it
you know,
was. It
like-
was.
the
It
Rocky-
was boiled eggs. It was egg sandwiches.
and then
it was egg
drink.
drink.
Maybe it was an eggnog or something. I don't know.
Oh,
but
mate, it
I don't
looked
know
like
if it was-
egg.
yeah, it looked like it was just an all egg diet.
Do
when
the
they-
chickens have talons?
I have
don't
no
understand.
idea what you're talking
I
about.
love the fact that he says to him, I have no idea what you're talking about, but he perfectly understood Lyle, who's there pointing out.
It's
right. Well, yes, well, yes,
Arrowheads.
well, arrowheads and all.
Lyle.
And the sound design there, the sound of the flies.
Yes.
Oh,
the
buzzing.
flies around the sandwiches.
Yeah.
There was sandwiches. What was on
Yeah,
the
there was
sandwich?
sandwiches. Egg
Was it
egg sandwiches. It was an egg fest.
There was no chicken on the sandwich.
No, it was just egg.
Just
It
eggs.
was all egg.
Yeah, that drink. I wasn't sure. He did crack one egg in
Gross.
there, but I wasn't sure if it was a full.
No, but he mixes it and then he
Wasn't-
drinks it
it
and he
was-
goes, "Yeah, good."
yeah,
it's
the
good.
full Rocky. I'm drinking eggs.
God.
This one tastes like a cow went into an onion patch.
Oh yeah. How good is he?
That was he's he knows his milks.
This.
This one
There's supposed to be 4 nipples.
This one tastes like it was mixed with bleach.
So in Idaho, it's FAA, the Farming Association. What they actually do classes in
Is that a
the
fact?
schools? Yeah, that's an actual subject.
Wow.
So once again, this is exactly a real
it's
life.
like our home ec.
Yes, it is. So it's either the FFA or the FAA, but they go to the schools and they learn farming and they do these things with tasting milk and things like that.
Okay. If you had to toss a coin, and on one side of the coin was this is the best costume design in cinema, and on the other side of the coin was this is the worst costume design in cinema, which wins?
Well, for me, I'm going to go with the best.
Yeah. It's hard not to go with the
I
best.
think the production design is superb. Look, right from the opening credits, I think it's some of the best opening credits of any film. Every plate,
Yep.
every dish is saying something as a foreshadowing about that character.
Well, everything gets eaten.
For Rex Kwon Do, we see a ninja star
Did
made
not
of
notice
foil.
that.
Yes.
Right.
You know,
I did not pick
we
any of
see the
that.
steak.
For Uncle Rico.
Yeah, so
Okay.
just the attention to detail of those opening credits.
Right.
Jack White on the acoustic guitar with that perfect opening track that sets the tone.
Yep.
The opening credits are fabulous. So right down to the color palette of the lockers when Napoleon's getting beaten up and
Yeah.
a couple of
Headlock.
I think the wardrobe, the production design, everything is right on point.
Yeah,
That's a fully realized universe.
I think the boots were the only
The moon boots.
The moon
They
boots.
were a bit unusual choice. Those moon boots.
Yes, yes.
They were terrible.
They were bad. The moon boots were bad. Okay, look, I love steak,
I love lamb.
but
It's a mashup.
I love steak.
Oh,
But
thanks, man.
is this the most unappetizing steak you've ever seen? Ever?
And with nothing else with it, I like a steak with the veggies and a bit
Mate,
of
the
salad.
juice, it's just the juice of the steak.
Yeah, it was cooked. Yeah, it was just steak. No sauce, no nothing, just steak.
Hey, I'm going to just do a sidebar jump. I don't want to break your thread here, but have you ever wondered what grandma's doing in the dunes with two 20-year-old dudes?
Mate, I've got
you
that.
got that.
I've got
Let me break your
no. That is incredible.
I didn't want that to
She's
be
with
the
a
elephant in the
boyfriend.
room.
She's with a boyfriend.
Yeah, there.
I've got that in Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
There's a lot about your
getting-
grandma you don't know.
Getting some
What?
airtime.
Yeah,
She's
she's
probably going nuts.
Yeah, she's getting tag teamed by two 20-year-olds. You don't know about that? No.
Sorry, I didn't mean to break your
No,
flow.
that's cool. That's cool. Okay. Is there a better prom song than Forever Young? How good does it work?
It was pretty good. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at other proms, but it worked well in that.
It works well.
Was it a prom? It was just the dance. It was just the local dance.
Whatever.
wasn't it?
It's
Yeah,
the
but
prom.
yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
think it's the prom.
Was it a prom?
I think
It's
the
a prom. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they were.
You got a prom with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. Again, I don't bump into any of those choices. I think the soundtrack's on point. That score is fabulous.
Yeah, the score is great.
You know, the track that plays when Kip is getting a ride into town on his rollerblades.
Give us a
my
ride.
God.
Yeah.
The track that plays when the bus appears. The soundtrack knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well done, gentlemen. Well, let's move into the categories: the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll start with you, Damer.
Yep.
What do you got for good?
Whatever I feel like I want to do. Gosh, like so, Jon Heder. The way he spoke.
Hang on 1 second. Is that someone's alarm?
Or a phone ring.
Whose alarm is that?
So it's gone.
The good, the bad,
Oh,
and the ugly. Damo, take it away.
yeah, I was going to talk about Jon Heder. So the emphasis that he has on the last word of his sentences. Whatever I feel like I want to do. Gosh. Because my Uncle Rico's idiot. The way he put, like, he created that character, but it's just the final word in all these sentences that he just ups the ante big time, and it just makes it really funny. Rico, we talk about his football video, and Jon Heder, or Napoleon, that's pretty much the worst video ever, But and the fact that Rico thought he, back in college, he could throw a pigskin a quarter of a mile, just that whole shit with Rico was hilarious. Rico's selling the 24 set with the sailing ship, right? With the free
We're gonna
gift.
have that.
And
We're gonna have that.
The wife, yes. So I was going to say,
the husband trying to break.
Oh,
but it's the wife that I loved in that. When she saw that sailing ship, how her eyes lit up and she tapped the husband.
Yeah.
And then the look of disdain the wife gives the husband when he cannot break the Tupperware container.
Yes.
She's just looking at him like, just so disdainful.
Yeah,
like,
yes.
Yeah, so that wife, I really liked her. But also, obviously, the show was riddled with non-expressive faces. Like Pedro, Deb, Napoleon. No expression of at the end when Pedro smiled and when Deb smiled, honestly, it really lit things up amazingly. And
I actually got a little emotional in the dance
yeah,
when Deb,
she
like,
stood up.
she
and
stood
clapped.
up, but when she started to smile during it,
Big, beautiful
yeah,
smile.
I actually got a little emotional.
I know, and I think it's because we never saw them smile, but when they did, and we just realized that these people are, they're full of life
Yeah.
and they're really nice, friendly, wonderful people. And I thought it was just really cool to go from everything that they'd done to just the end to actually just let loose and be
Yeah.
happy. And I really like that. Just one more final thing. Pedro's compelling, presidential speech. Make all your
Your
wildest
dreams
dreams
come
come
true.
true. Like fair dinkum. And also just a shout out to Kip and LaFawnda as well.
Mate, what about
That
his get-up?
relationship?
What about his get up?
Kip's transformation once he met LaFawnda. was just-
Catfishing's underrated.
Well, because do you remember when they were actually also sitting in the Rico when he was checking out his muscles, when he was talking to Kip? Kip said, "Oh yeah, I've seen her. She sent me through a photo, a face shot. I'm a bit TO'd because she hasn't sent me a body shot, but she's got long, sandy blonde hair."
Yes.
And she comes out. It's this tall, beautiful black woman
Yeah.
from Detroit.
Detroit. She's definitely from the streets of Detroit.
It was just so funny.
I heard just recently it was Chandrella was the name
Oh,
of the
that's
actor.
what I
Oh,
guess.
my God.
And I was
What a
listening
name.
to an interview recently with one of the producers, and he told the story of her arriving to set, and she had a T-shirt on. He said, and we loved it straight away. And the T-shirt said, "You not Daho, Idaho." And he said that stuck in his brain when she got off and arrived to set wearing that T-shirt. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to get along just fine.
That is
Perfect.
funny.
That's it for me for good.
Okay. Croaksy, and anything that you're finding good in this film?
Oh, look, I love the tetherball
Oh,
sequences.
God.
That's probably the closest you get to a little bit of narrative thread, connective tissue. What's the line that he has at the end there? "I caught you a beautiful bass."
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes. But the point is there, I think you've got that character now. He's himself.
no.
He's no longer caught up in his own head. He's no longer feeling on the outside. He's realized, like in the moment where we get to dance, he's realized this is not about me anymore. It's about him. And I'm going to go out there and do this for him. And in that last scene, because we see that scene where he asks Haley Duff
Summer.
to
Yeah.
play with
yeah.
him, and she won't. And
She
so
said no.
he's
Yeah.
on his own.
Yeah.
And in that last scene, he tells Deb, "I caught you a bass,
Yeah.
and we're going to play some tetherball."
Yeah.
And again, that character has come full circle.
Yeah.
He's now realized that the path to being accepted is to start with self-acceptance. So,
Yeah.
and to your point, I've watched that film and cried, laugh, but I've also watched that film and genuinely wept.
Well,
Because I think there is a subtle,
Yeah.
there's a subtle beauty in there.
You're
on
rooting
repeat
for the
viewings.
underdog. And
You go, this guy's learned. I don't have to be on the outside. I just got to start by accepting who I am and own it. That dance is a celebration of that, which I think is what makes that final sequence really land.
Well,
Yeah.
I think in just adding to that is that they start as three individuals and then they become their own gang.
Yeah.
So it becomes the three of them against the world. So
You
I
need
think,
somebody watching your back at all
yeah,
times.
it's exactly right. And so I
Well,
think that,
yeah, well, Rex Kwon-do actually said go in pairs or
Yeah.
team
and
up.
so they become the gang. So they become
Their own little gang.
they
yeah.
go become their own gang. So
Well, think
they
of that line on the grandstand at the track, and Napoleon turns to Pedro and says, "I guess we're like buds now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got my back."
Yeah.
And that's a direct connection back to Rex.
yes,
This idea of you need someone watching your back at all
That's right,
times.
yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
And you see a shot where Napoleon's nodding his head with this odd
And
look
with
on his face.
agreement with Rex
But he's
Kwon-do.
in
Yeah,
agreement.
Yeah.
He's starting, the seeds are getting planted there very subtly.
Yeah.
This character is learning if you're going to do well, you've got to have people watching your back at all
Yep.
times.
Yep.
And you've got to look after yourself. Now, all of that, I think, is the subtext sitting under the laughs.
Yes.
That's what makes the film rich.
Well, I think also
nice
just thinking about that now is that I think one of the themes is that you don't have to be in the in group. You just need to be in your group.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to find your people.
Yes.
So you don't need to be popular. You just need to find your people. And then if you find your people, then you've made it.
You got it.
And I think really in hindsight, thinking about it, that's for me, That's the theme of the film, is that it's about finding your people.
Because they tried with Summer, they tried with Trisha.
Yeah,
They
he
were
tried-
just
that's it.
trying, and they just kept getting burnt.
Yeah. And so why do
Yeah.
so you stop and you find the people that you don't need to work with.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be hard. Friendship shouldn't be hard.
Mm.
And I think that's what, just thinking actually just now, like, that's what I think the movie's about. It's about finding your people.
You can watch that film with that mindset and it reveals itself differently to you.
Yeah.
You can watch it and turn your mind off and just let it wash over you as absurd as comedy, and it'll tickle you there. That's again what makes the film special.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. My good, and there's a little bit here, but did anyone notice the cheese on the nachos?
Yes.
Yes.
That at the start when he's on the phone, that there's about 6 pieces of grated
Yes.
cheese. Then the next time it cuts back, there's a
Yes.
massive pile of cheese.
Yes, very, very Kubrick.
Yes. It's brilliant. It's the layers, the layers.
I don't know, I
Symbolizes,
love the fact that he says, I'm kind of busy right now. Like, busy? You ate all the freaking chips in here.
Oh, mate.
I love the fact that he won't go there and my lips hurt real bad. Won't you come and get me?
Bring me my
Yeah.
chapstick.
I'm kind of busy right now. Busy? What are you doing?
Yeah.
But then when he says, hey, would you give me a ride into town?
Straight away.
It's
Straight
right
away.
there.
Yeah.
Which again says something about that character.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
albeit subtly.
Well, I think that the highlight of the movie is the Kip Napoleon dynamic. I think their relationship is great, and their back and forth is great. And you've already mentioned it, but the size and just Napoleon's, they're almost ticks, right?
Yeah,
and it's
his
like
little traits.
when he rings grandma for grandma and he's on and she's on home and it's just with the size.
It's like freaking 30 years old.
I think we've mentioned Rex Kwon-Do, but the break the wrist and walk away, I laughed out loud this time around. And just him, go on, put your hand on my arm.
Yeah.
No, this arm, other arm.
My arm. You think I want to dress like Peter Pan over here?
No,
Forget about it.
And he's dressed like shit. No, he's got the get up. It's terrible.
He's got the American bandana, the sleeveless top, and the American
Parachute
long
pants.
And if you
Parachute
get a
pants.
full
And
circle.
Velcro sneakers.
Yes, he does too.
Yes.
Remember looking for
Yes.
that?
Velcro sneakers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we get toward the back end of I'm going to say the third act, but toward the back end there,
Yep.
when Rico takes a pounding
Yes.
off Rex Kwon-Do.
Rex Kwon-Do.
But you don't
What
see
a
it. You
bust.
hear it happening in the
Yes.
background.
Yes.
And then the next scene, I think he's bandaged up. in
Yeah,
a
he's got a
sling.
black
Yeah.
eye. He's still throwing his footy to his video, though.
That's right.
I thought Lyle and the cow was funny.
Yes.
It couldn't be more perfect timing.
Lyle was a genuine real neighbor of Jared Hess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
Love it.
he's I loved Uncle Rico. So
Yeah.
there's so many layers to Uncle Rico because he's also in My Bad as well.
Yeah.
But just as a character, I think he's amazing. The stake to the head is hands down what I think is the funniest part of the movie. Like I laugh I'm thinking about it now. It's so absurd,
Yeah.
and the fact that he hits him
Yes.
is because he's borderline useless, but he manages to hit Napoleon in the head with a
Like,
stake.
yeah.
And the fact that Napoleon doesn't fall off the bike is pretty amazing. And of course, like the dance.
Yeah.
So the dance. So what they did is there's 3 different dances
Yeah.
that they cut together with 3 or 4 different songs.
Right.
And they actually cut it together and then added that song. He didn't dance to Canned Heat.
Ah.
He danced to 3 or 4 different songs.
Do we know
and
what
then,
they are?
No, I don't.
Okay.
They don't know. They didn't say that. But so
Obviously, a similar tempo because the timing was, each 8 count
for sure.
was timed really
For
nicely.
sure.
with the
Well,
beat.
it's all in the edit, right?
yeah. Yeah.
It's a bit like this podcast. It's all in the
Yes.
edit.
We'll save it in the edit.
That's it.
Yes.
Damo, anything for bad?
Well, obviously, Summer's dance routine. You get such a great song like "Larger Than Life" or
Yes.
"Backstreet." Come on,
How bad is it?
but
We've done a better job than
Yeah,
that.
we did. So we've done that. We know that personally. Like I said, when you first watch this movie's not generally that good. I don't think.
I agree.
It's until someone definitely quotes something to you or talks about it, that's when you really start to get into it. Obviously, some of those meals in those opening credits were disgusting, horrible meals. Tater tots. Are they pommoisettes? Are they? They're something like-
Yeah, they are.
They're
They're,
little
yeah.
potato things?
They're big in the States.
Yeah,
tater tots.
yeah. Okay.
When I was living in Sydney and we got to know each other,
Yeah.
for a little while there, I was on an evening diet of Spuddies.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. And the tagline on the
Potato
box
gems?
was, kids love them. And I remember having a good long look at
Get
myself.
your Happy Meal.
As- But God, they were nice.
Oh no. But look, and I'm sure this is what you're probably going to bring up too, Whitey. But Uncle Rico selling bus must to
Oh
schoolgirls.
my god! I've just his general
It was
creepiness.
like, well,
but he's saying
but
he
he
said
was-
give
he
it to your mum.
you know, but he wasn't being. He actually just wanted a sale.
Yeah, he was
He wanted a sale.
he was a spiv.
I know, but it was like, mate, you're going about this sale looking real bad.
Bad.
But-
He comes across real
But
bad.
he was like, he just wants the money. He just wants his
But
bucks.
I've got something to add to that. I'm going to say it for my ugly.
Well, okay, yeah.
You got anything that you think is maybe bad in the movie?
Oh, look, the
Croaky?
only scene I've ever bumped into, and it's a minor thing, only because it felt like it was a little bit sort of shoved in to complement the happy endings that all the primary characters were getting in the final resolution and it's just a moment, and it's kind of sweet, I guess, but I remember thinking it could kind of pulled me out a little bit, where Rico's out by the El
yeah.
Camino
Yes.
toward the end, and there's this random woman on a bike that pulls
It's
up and
his-
smiles.
It's his ex-girlfriend.
It's
Is
his
that who it is?
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never made that connection. Tell
Yeah,
me, what have I missed?
but I had
Yeah.
to
No,
read
I
about
read
it.
it,
I read
yeah.
about it, and you know, it's
That was his
actually
ex that came
that was
back.
actually.
How did you pick?
I read it. Or something.
Well, I read it. I read it.
I
and
didn't know.
I just read
thought
it in
it's just
research.
a random girl.
So is that established in the beginning that he's
Probably in a cut that was not in the
Ah,
movie.
there you go.
Yeah, but
I've
you're
never,
right.
I've always gone, okay,
Oh,
well,
he's found someone.
It's a little
yeah.
jarring. It's a
Yeah.
little jarring
so it's his ex returned for him, and she
Yeah.
found him on a bike.
on a bike
Now she
on a gravel road.
and in
Yeah.
real life, she is Kip's wife.
Kip's wife in real
In
life.
real life, there
yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Well, you've made it a little richer. I'll go back and
Yeah.
have a look.
I've got Rex Kwando's get up.
Oh,
Yes.
I got
brilliant.
Velcro shoes, parachute pants,
Yeah.
bandana, and night glasses.
Yeah,
the
Yes,
yellow
I forgot
glasses.
the glasses.
Perfect.
Right?
He
The
had-
pistol
that was
glasses.
That is such a good to wear to like
Yes.
Supernova or something.
Yeah,
Wear the
it
Rex
would-
one,
Yeah,
It would
that
be a
is a
great,
good-
it
that
would
would
be a
be
great
good.
costume.
Yeah.
Now, you know, they approached Bruce Campbell for that role as well.
Oh,
I
yeah.
could see him
He'd
doing
do a
that.
good
I could see
job.
him.
And,
doing
There's a
that.
lot of people could do that pretty well, I
He
reckon.
flat out refused. He was not
Oh.
interested. But he had a
Funny.
look at the script. It was apparently not interested.
Funny.
He would have been perfect too.
Well, Sam
Yeah.
Raimi didn't direct it, so he doesn't do
Yeah,
anything that
there you go.
Sam Raimi
That's
doesn't
right.
do.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I know Jared Hess initially was, as we mentioned at the top, was looking for Jack Black, right? It would have
Yeah.
been great.
Would have been great.
Jack Black didn't want to touch it.
Wow.
Then you
Yeah.
jump ahead to Jared Hess's next film,
Nacho
Nacho
Libre.
Libre,
Yeah, I know. Oh,
and
okay.
Jack.
So
and Jack's in.
Yeah,
God,
so
there's,
Ja- yeah,
God,
you're
there's
right.
similar movies.
There's a
They
similar
are.
tone
Not
going
a
on.
similar
But
tone.
Nacho doesn't capture
Nacho.
It doesn't capture Napoleon
I use
though.
my hand to wipe my tears.
When he fires off on the scooter,
I love it.
Nacho, it's my funniest part of the
Yeah, I
movie.
love it.
Where he
It's
guns it.
it's pure
oh
Jack
my
Black.
God, it's so Jack Black.
Yeah.
And I've got here about Grandma's boyfriend at the Dunes.
There you go.
22. At like a maximum age of 22. Like, what's going on there, Grandma? And you know, she got a bad get up too. She's in the suit for the wedding. She doesn't-
Yes.
she- it's-
Well,
it's-
and the look of disdain on her face at the wedding too. Like,
Yes.
she's the normal one too.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is in the post credit scenes, which
Yes,
we haven't even
yes,
discussed.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got Uncle Rico's show reel, which I'm going to say is bad because it's just generally
It was
bad,
fantastic.
but it is good. But the creepiness, and I'm gonna then say Lunch at the Chicken Farm is terrible.
Yes.
Kip's first get up when he's in the black jacket and the black
I
bandana.
loved that look.
Things are getting pretty
That was-
serious right now.
So fun. When he just rocked into that for the first time when LaFawnder's there in their house.
So I'll just keep rolling into ugly here because I'm going to go Uncle Rico. Did anyone else notice when he's down in the basement with Deb doing the
Yes.
photos
Yes.
and he smells the armpit of the dress?
Wow.
He's going through the clothes and he
I missed
picks the
that.
dress out and he smells the
Oh, wow.
armpit. And Deb catches him
I didn't see that.
and he sort of stops and he's like, he gets caught, mate. He is an
Right.
absolute creep.
That
Rico.
connects then to the end credits scene where Kip flicks across LaFonda's garter belt. Is that right?
Yes,
Oh,
and he
yeah, he
smells
caught
it,
it,
and he smells it.
for a heartbeat.
He
just
smells
before
it.
they
He
cut,
sniffs it.
He brings it to
He
his
sniffs
nose,
it.
and they cut
Yes.
away. I think
So go back and watch. Go back and
Rico.
watch it towards the end where
Goddamn Rico.
he's going to get his photo taken by Deb, and he smells the armpit of the dress.
and he's as creepy as hell in that photo shoot sequence. with
Yes,
Deb.
he is.
When he
Yeah,
starts
yeah,
to unbutton his top, and you
Well,
kind of think, well, what does she say? I want you to imagine you're floating in the ocean,
Oh,
surrounded by seahorses.
I can do that.
I've got
Oh my
catfishing
God.
as ugly as well, just in general.
Well, yeah. Yes.
Other than that, anything, Damo?
I do. I suppose it's kind of like a more of a look at the world, like catfishing. This was the opposite in this movie. because LaFauna turned out to be dead set awesome. But so Napoleon, he's a normal kid, right? He's
Well, normal's a stretch. But,
I know, but
yeah.
he's dorky, right? He's dorky. But he's harmless. He's independent. He just had a heck of an imagination, right? Now my ugly is now. Some doctor would diagnose him now as some kid on the spectrum or have some sort of autism, right? And
Yep.
they would stick him on some sort of medication.
Yep.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that kid. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because there are so many kids that are maybe a bit dorky or just got an imagination, or they're a little bit different to the way that we are, that we might think.
Yep.
Oh no, that's we need to put this kid on drugs. So 2 years ago in the States, 1 in 44 children were on some sort of medication, diagnosed with some sort of autism. 2 years later, it's 1 in 36.
It's scary. It's really scary.
Every kid in this movie, Napoleon, Deb, Pedro, even the bully, all of them, you need to get on this, you need to get on this. So that's my ugly is nothing to do with the movie, but I think that the fact that this movie showed a snap back in time, only not that long ago, these kids are normal kids. Nowadays, these kids would be put on some sort of medication. And then, it's one of the biggest things that I cannot stand. So that is my huge ugly.
Damo, that's far too deep for Paul to watch.
I know. I apologise that I've got.
Please apologise.
Yeah.
People, watchers, we apologise for Damo going serious.
Yeah.
But we've found his nerve.
Yes, that is my nerve.
You got any ugly, Croxy?
Look, not really. I think that subtext there that with Rico is just enough to make him. It's almost like that actor has brought a little bit of a dark tone to the choice, and it's just enough.
Yeah.
And again, when you first
you just question it, don't you?
Yeah, it's like, well,
did it? What was
yeah, but no, look, I don't bump into too much that's ugly in there at all.
Yeah,
no, that's fair enough
it's
too.
hard.
I certainly won't do a rant like you've done, although you have some valid points to make there.
Stan rant.
But to your yeah, very nice. There you go. I want to laugh at that harder than I should. The thing that, as you were saying, we talked about it. I think it is about the outsider finding a home, and the home comes from within. And then when you look at every character in there, everyone's an outsider. That even the ones that think they're not are equally outsiders.
Yeah.
For me, that's the beautiful part of the subtext, self-acceptance. And
Yep.
Well done, gentlemen. We're going to slip into Damo's quickfire. Let's hear what you got to say about this.
All right, now, do you remember quickfire, Croaks? It's so this is there's a series of categories. Okay, so the first one is that's not a knife. This is a knife. A scene that is or something or that's passed over into popular culture. So obviously this movie is riddled with it. So from popular culture, from this movie, Croaks, things that you just see just randomly. Anything in particular?
I don't know. Maybe you could make her a cake or something. Look, the Vote for Pedro T-shirt.
Vote for Pedro's number one.
It could be up there once with one of the most popular ones. Yeah.
Moon boots.
Yep.
The dance.
The dance.
The dance, 100%.
Yeah.
What about you, Whitey? More?
Yeah, I had Vote for Pedro. I had the dance.
Vote for Pedro's the biggest one, I'd say.
I think Vote for Pedro's right up there.
Well, that T-shirt, lots of people have that T-shirt.
Lots of people have
even Rex Kwon or people, talk about Rex Kwon. Yeah, so there's quite a fair bit of popular culture.
Break the wrist.
Now, I'll start with you, Whitey. The Philip Stuckey Award for the...
This one was hard because there's a few.
The biggest douchebag, yes, in Napoleon Dynamite.
You could very easily go any of the bullies. So you could very easily go the Tater Top bully. Because he picks on everyone.
He was a dickhead.
Until the Vote for Pedro gang members turn up in the pimped out car.
Yep.
You could easily go the boyfriend, who Croaksy mentioned. He's a massive dick.
Don.
Yeah, Don. But I'm gonna go Summer.
Oh.
I think Summer's the biggest dick in the school.
Okay, what about you?
I think she's she's the prettiest girl in school. She knows it.
Yep.
The whole dance routine is so abysmal that she should be embarrassed to be dancing to Backstreet Boys like that.
Yes, I agree.
The fact that she writes no with 17 exclamation marks on the note to Pedro is cruel.
I know. And,
right?
And it was a good cake too.
And it was a good cake.
I bet she ate it.
I'm sure she did.
I bet she ate it.
She's got a horse head. And she is the most untalented person in her family.
Wow.
So, Haley Duff too. The thing I like about her is, she's got a more famous sister,
Hillary.
Duff. I love those. It's like your Clint Howards,
And she's got
your
a
Daniel Baldwin's.
she's got a brother up there.
Up to Duff. Yeah.
Wow.
Who's your biggest douchebag, Croaks?
Yeah, look, it's an obvious one, and it's played to be obvious, but it's Dom.
Yeah.
But I think to your point, there's a bigger douche maybe, which is the other bully,
The bully.
that the bully that kicks the tots.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there's
Tater
that
tot
scene
bully.
where he's got Napoleon in a headlock against the lockers.
Yes, and he was the guy that wanted to take Pedro's sledgehammer too, didn't he? Until he's Pedro's cousins.
Yeah,
rocked
and they
up.
just
Yes.
give that look and
Yeah.
the shake of their head.
Yeah.
Yeah, he picked on the little kid too.
He was a big bloody
He was.
douchebag. I reckon he probably got the nod. But yeah, it was pretty hotly contended.
Yep.
Well, this is a tough one. Jennifer Jason Leigh from Backdraft thought they were in a different movie. Anyone did you think looked out of place? I mean, I know you mentioned the girlfriend at the end,
But I get that now. I
Until-
can probably live with it. Yeah.
but that's probably the closest thing. Everything else seemed to fit.
Look, I know for me, that's why the movie works. I think it's a fully realized universe and everyone seems to belong there. No one struck me as not needing to be in that film or
Yep.
maybe jumping out of something else.
No.
What about
Agree.
you?
I agree.
Yeah, I think everyone sort of played their part. And I think
Perfectly cast.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone who's like,
No.
hang on, they're weighing it down. Now I'm banning this one, the Ripley running for
Why?
poor sporting prowess, because everything is on point. Tetherball,
I've
quarterback
got-
passing. There is everything.
What about jump? What
I-
about the huge jump?
the bot jump? Every sporting thing in this
Is awful.
You got like 3 feet there.
I know. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, these are not. Once again, not everyone is gifted at sports.
Yep, and
And
no one in
holy
Idaho is.
crap. Yeah, just even from the Rex Kwando, the fighting,
Yeah.
that leg sweep from Kim.
Incredible leg sweep.
The
power.
just get down on the ground, put the head, and turn around. It was just like
And then the head slap after.
I mean,
It's
just-
the best.
yeah,
Oh, I think you ripped off my I think you ripped off my mole.
yeah. I don't think there's a movie with worse sporting.
Oh, it's the
prowess.
worst. It is.
Everything.
It could be the Napoleon Dynamite
It could be
bad sporting
just
prowess.
everything. An additional scene. Now, I'll start here. I actually think the additional scene at the end with Kip and LaFawnduh's wedding is probably the additional scene that is all that I wanted. I
Yeah.
don't think I wanted to see anything else. Whitey, what?
I agree. I think it is the perfect end to the movie.
And just a perfect add-on, because there's a lot of people done it because it was. Is
Well,
it like after?
It's after the credits. It's after the
So-
credits. So
so-
if you've watched this movie and you've not watched till after the credits, this was MCU took a bit of inspiration from
Solid.
Napoleon Dynamite
Yeah.
and waited till after the credits to do the wedding scene between Kip and LaFawnduh.
Yeah.
And there is an amazing tribute to the Man from Snow River, which was a legit tribute to the Man from Snow River.
Oh, look what?
It was a legit tribute. Him riding up on the horse
Yeah.
and the music.
Yeah. That's
They loved, like the director, Jared Hess, loved the Man from Snow
oh my
River.
god! Right,
It's a direct tribute to that film.
Napoleon's horse riding style once again. That could go down in
It's bad.
sporting
It's
prowess
bad.
as well.
I just tamed a bronco.
Was it?
Bronco
Yeah,
or
just
No,
sorry,
a
I'm late.
honeymoon stallion.
Sorry, I'm late, you guys. I just tamed a honeymoon stallion. But I love the fact that you see him at the start making up stories.
Yes.
I was out shooting wolverines.
What do
The 12 gauge. What do you think?
12 gauge, what do you think? Oh. So he's starting off with these ridiculous stories.
Nunchucks.
The nunchucks in the
Oh.
locker, being invited into gangs. And then at the end of the film, in the footnote, he legitimately rides up on a honeymoon stallion and says, and the way he's riding it, it's like a dummy is
It
sitting
was
on it.
Yes.
the worst
It's
technique.
not very good
But
riding.
but I love the fact
It's
that
brilliant.
all those stories were just stories up until the point at the last scene of the film.
He's broken in a horse.
He has actually broken in a horse.
according to him.
He stops and asks for a photo from Deb before he gets off. And the film ends with a riding off into it, not quite a sunset, but
Yeah,
riding
it
off
is.
into the
Yeah.
horizon. You couldn't get a better ending. I was about 5-6 views in before I caught that.
Yeah.
And then it was like this other
What's this
world. I went,
bit?
"Oh, it's
Yeah.
even better.
Mm.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
cherry on top.
That ending, like just the vows, the song, the people's reactions.
LaFawnduh's brother
LaFawnduh's brother
putting his head in his
He's
hand.
so
Just-
appalled.
It's same with the grandmother on Napoleon's side. Yeah, but you got Uncle Rico there, and you got Pedro there, and they're all there. It's the reunion.
Yes.
It's the reunion show that you wanted, and it's
Yes.
there. So I think they did their own
Extra
additional
scene,
scene that we
yeah.
all wanted.
Absolutely.
Okay, now Whitey's Jessica Chastain, best looking, or the one that you'd like to take to the prom.
Look, now disregard, all these actors are like mid-20s
Oh yeah,
that are
it's
starring in this movie.
yeah.
And we understand that they're supposed to be high school students, but they're not high school
No, they're not.
students.
Beverly Hills 90210 I did the same
Correct.
thing.
Oh,
Gabriel
exactly.
Gabriel Garteres.
And
But I'm if I have
Grease.
to
What
pick,
about Grease for the oldest
Yeah.
teenagers?
What can
if I
say?
have to pick, probably going to pick Trisha.
Oh, okay. Yep. No, she was quite nice.
Yep.
Croaks.
What's the question?
Who would you take to the prom out of all the other girls, or who would you take on a date, or who would you like to
Can I
lay
tell you
down with.
about my high
Give it
school
to-
formal?
Oh no.
No,
Please
I want
do.
to tell you.
Please do.
So I
And
told you about
Napoleon?
the I saw a cow get shot
Oh yeah.
as a young boy.
Yep.
And then when I saw it in this film, I went, oh, okay. It's strumming my pain with its fingers. This film, it understands me.
Strumming
The
my
Fugees.
pain with his fingers.
One time.
One
And
time.
then he may be listening. I went to the formal with a good buddy of mine, Craig Jensen, a good friend of mine at the time. We couldn't get dates.
Yep.
And so we ended up, I thought, you know
You
what?
did Blades of Glory.
We'll go together.
Okay.
I went into the bathroom to have a mint and freshen up. I came back and he found a date and he was out dancing.
Twin dongs.
And that part I'm making up. But so look, I haven't really thought about it. I think it's almost obvious to say Summer Wheatley.
Yeah, well, she's all right.
But you're missing LaFawnda.
Yeah.
She was gorgeous.
Look,
She had the best lips I've ever seen.
wow.
Really?
What
Oh
did you call
my
them?
God, those lips were unbelievable.
Lips Incorporated.
Oh man, yeah, I couldn't go past those lips. She she was great. Like she's a 6-footer.
She's tall,
She maybe,
but she looks super tall because Kip's about 3'8".
Yeah, but no, she is spectacular.
Well, things are getting pretty serious right now.
Thanks, Kip. All right, the last one, a lookalike. We've got. Well, I'm going to do this in your language too. So we got Morgs, who looks like Carl Malden. He looks like
Harry Dean Stanton.
He looks like Harry Dean Stanton and F. Murray Abraham. And Tom Hiddleston, Stu Coleman, lookalike.
Deep cut.
Any lookalikes? Anyone you saw in this movie that looks like anyone that you know, possibly? Or we'll go to Whitey first.
go to Whitey.
Go to Whitey first.
Okay,
Any
I've got a
lookalikes?
couple here, and they're usually the Morgs likes. I
Yep.
think I could be really cruel and say Napoleon is Morgs,
Definitely.
but also Rex Kwon Do
Yeah.
would be a little Morgsy. It's about as cool as him.
Yep. Morgs. Yeah. Once again. Yeah. There's so many Morgs. I like.
There's a lot of Morgs alikes.
Yeah.
Lyle is an older Morgs.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's not much else
no.
I've got.
No other lookalikes.
Yeah, I've got nothing
No.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's it for quickfire.
Well done. Listen to this, where we talk about a little bit of the behind the scenes during the making of the film. Damo, you want to lead us away?
Everything that I was going to talk about is we've discussed.
Yep. Yeah.
So I've got no other behind the scenes stuff to tell.
Do you know both Jon Heder and Efren Ramirez, who played Pedro, have twins, identical twins?
Is that a fact?
Well, there you go.
So how do you know that it's really them in the movie?
Ah, nice.
Yes. So every dish shown during the opening credits is eaten by a character later in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The dishes presented in the opening credits were the work of the 3 people who presented them. Pretty cool.
There was some bad, like that dish. There was one like we had a sausage. It had
it wasn't
some
good.
peas in a corner.
So how old do you reckon Jon Heder and Efren Ramirez were?
I think Efren's 30 something.
31.
Yeah, and
Pedro's
Jon Hader's about
31,
26, 27.
26.
I think Haley Duff and Tina Majorino, like at 18, 19, probably the youngest.
Yeah.
But everyone else is.
So the budget for this, obviously, we've talked about the budget being $400,000. The movie was edited in producer Jeremy Coon's apartment using a $6,000 Macintosh with Final Cut Pro.
There you go.
Wow. Home job.
Home job.
Well, they've
Right.
done well.
There we go. We talked about this was a short film based on Jared Hess, a movie that he made in 2002, and that starred Jon Heder as well.
Palooka?
Yes.
Yep.
Now, Napoleon's liger is based on a real animal.
Yeah, there was a liger. Yeah,
Created when a male lion mates with a female tiger.
It's part lion, part tiger.
Got mystical powers.
God.
Oh my
And
God.
Jon Heder was did some animation, and he drew every one of those pictures. So he drew the
Yes,
picture of
he drew
Trisha, he drew the ligers, he drew all that. They were all his own drawings.
Apparently, it took him about 3 hours to finish the shading in
On
the
Trisha.
drawing of Trisha. I
Yeah,
spent like
he's-
3 hours doing the shading.
Yeah.
He's not as good an artist as Jonah Hill is drawing dicks in Superbad.
Oh. But that Trisha that portrait was just, and there's more of this where this came from.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Oh my God. Croxy, anything?
No, I think I've, as
Yeah, there's not.
We've covered a lot of
yeah, I
wasn't
think
a heap.
true to my form. And the last time you had me around, I kind of blew out your format and started
That's okay.
jumping
It's,
into
it's, it's, all,
content.
it's all good.
It's like
It's all good
Napoleon
about it.
Dynamite.
We'll talk about quotables. And
quotes.
Croxy, I know you've probably got a few here. You've been sprouting them all night.
Look, yeah, have you got a few? Do you want to get?
Yeah,
cracking on
so I obviously you've talked about Tina, you fat
Hang
lard.
on,
Come
but
get some
can we
dinner.
just have a look at Croaks has actually got
Croxy's got the
script.
script. He's going to go through the
He's
script.
I've got the
script.
screenplay here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, you please, you go.
Your mum goes to college.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's
one of the best.
Your mum goes to college.
You've already
mum
done.
goes to
Well,
college.
things are getting pretty serious right now.
Yes.
It's pretty much my favorite animal. It's like a lion and tiger mixed, bred for its skills and magic.
Can you hear this? It's funnier when you say it in their voice
Yeah.
and the way that their tone.
So then we've already done this one. Like Rex, I'm Rex, founder of Rex Kwando self-defense system. After 1 week with me, my dojo, you'll be prepared to defend yourself with the strength of a grizzly, the reflexes of a puma, and the wisdom of a man.
Rex Kwando, the jiu-jitsu weak course.
My God.
Oh my God! But like I said, the way they say things, like when the head baddie guy with the blonde hair, when he said, "Who you voting for?" He said, "I'm voting for Pedro Sanchez." Who do you think? That's the way he just.
In my country. In my country.
But I like how he did ask for a summer button,
Oh my God.
and he grabbed the button and he threw it. Once again,
Yeah, oh God.
bad sporting for us. But also the look, Summer and the boyfriend, the look of like jealousy when they were handing out all Deb's bracelets.
Yes.
They were like, "Oh my God, look at how good these bracelets are."
But we talk about the back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter
Oh.
mile. Kip goes, "Are you serious, Uncle Ricky?" I'm dead serious.
So a quarter mile is what? How many meters?
It's 400 meters. It's
Yeah,
400
he's doing
meters.
pretty good.
Have you asked anybody out yet? No, but who would? I don't even have any good skills. What do you mean? Like nunchucks, bow hunting, computer hacking. Girls only want boyfriends that have great skills. Aren't you pretty good at drawing like animals and warriors and stuff? Yeah, two ligers.
Oh my God! But nunchucks were like if you go back to school,
Yes.
every
Oh, mate.
kid wanted to be a nunchuck for
That's
sure.
right.
Like they were just the
Well,
coolest.
Bruce Lee was
Yeah.
the man.
The coolest weapons. Like, oh yeah, and I don't know. I made sticks and I made swords and things, and mate,
When he finds the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in the thrift store,
thigh or
the
whatever,
side, whatever, and he
yeah.
puts it into his
I know.
belt loop.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
Oh,
Imagine
God.
finding that in the thrift store.
That'd be a good thrift store find.
Yeah.
A good thrift store find.
Yeah.
Look, like there's a couple of lines here toward the end before the dance happens, and Pedro's backstage and knows he's got to have an act. And there's this is really lovely. It's only in a couple of lines. And Pedro says here, I don't really want to be president anyway. Napoleon says, Pedro, just listen to your heart. That's what I do. Now, but just that simple line.
Well,
He's come full circle.
Yes.
Just listen to your heart.
Yeah.
That's what I do. It's what he does.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
sweet ending.
Yeah.
Come on.
It is.
It's
It's
a
a
great
good,
film.
nice ending.
It's a great film.
Yes.
Look, surprisingly, 1 degree of Kurt Russell. No one in this film has worked with
Yeah.
Kurt, which is a shame.
Yep.
Seeing that none of them did anything afterwards. But that gets us into film school.
Well, wait a minute. Can I just say there is
Oh.
a tenuous
Here we
there is
go.
a tenuous Russell connection.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research. Let me just
Jeez.
find my notes here.
Wow.
3,000 Miles to Graceland.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Kevin Costner,
Kevin Costner.
Kurt
Yep.
Russell.
Yep.
They're in that film looking to launder money out of Idaho.
Oh, the state.
There you go.
That
That's
is
it.
the most
It's
It's tenuous at best.
tenuous.
Well, no, yeah, but no,
That's up there with
but it's
that's
connective
up there
tissue.
with
There's
Tim Allen,
not many
Tim
Idaho
Allen
movies.
and Kurt Russell
That is
both playing
connective Kurt
Santa.
Russell
Yeah.
tissue.
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
No,
that'll do.
there
I'll
you
take
go.
it. We'll
Yep.
take it. A film school for F-wits. Now, in honor of star Jon Heder being pigeonholed as Napoleon Dynamite for his whole career,
Yep.
we're going to talk about the 7 most pigeonholed actors of all time, not including Jon Heder.
Yep.
Now, we've spoken about one of them, and we talked about him getting out, and he sort of has, but he sort of gets dragged back to the shitty, cheap comedy.
Just when I'm out, they pull me
That's
back in.
exactly right. Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that only because, yes, he's done some amazing films. Uncut Gems is incredible. But he's signed that deal with Netflix now where he's just gone back to making Hubie Halloween, you know, the terrible comedies.
There is Spaceman.
Yeah, well, Spaceman is the latest film. I've
Yeah,
not watched it yet. It's getting pretty good raps.
I loved it.
Getting pretty good raps. But I think he's still pigeonholed as just that the comic that makes movies with his mates.
Mm.
You know, you look at and some of them are great. Like, don't get me wrong, Happy Gilmore is quality. I even quite enjoy the Grown Ups films. Right, they're quite
Yeah,
funny.
I
Right,
like
First
Pretty
one's terrific.
yeah.
yeah.
But again, it's movies with his mates, and I don't have problems with that. I wish I had a mate that was a useful mate like Adam Sandler, and just bring me along and make movies with him. That'd be pretty fun.
You got a useful mate here on the center of the couch.
Well, I
Yeah,
do.
I'm
I do.
useless,
When he can
please.
work.
Yeah.
When he can walk. Okay, number 2, Daniel Radcliffe.
Mm.
He will forever be Harry Potter. I don't think
Yeah.
it matters, and he has tried to break out. He's made quite a few movies. Like
What was the film where he was with the farting corpse? He discovers he befriends a corpse, and he travels across the ocean with a farting
oh,
corpse.
I don't know, but
He talk about big bold choices.
he-
Anyway,
he's actually trying so hard
Yes.
to outrun
Have you
Harry
seen
Potter.
that Channing Tatum one and Sandra Bullock one just like the other year, 2 years ago?
Oh yeah, the
He
Lost
was-
City or
Yeah,
something.
he was the baddie.
Yeah, he's. I'm sorry, Daniel, but you're Harry. That's it.
Yeah, you are.
Forever.
Yep.
And we're going to get to someone else who has lived that life, and he should probably reach out.
Yes.
Number 3, Benedict Cumberbatch plays the tortured genius in everything. Now, he started as Sherlock Holmes in the incredible TV series Sherlock, which is amazing, and he's great in it. But if you then think that you've got Doctor Strange, he's the tortured doctor.
Yes.
Alan Turing in The Imitation Game, Julian Assange in The Fifth Estate. He plays the
I
tortured
didn't know there was
genius.
a Julian Assange movie.
Yeah, The Fifth Estate. It's
Oh.
horrific.
Oh, okay.
He dyes his hair blonde. It's awful.
Oh.
He wears a wig. He doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Because he's quite pale.
Yep.
So Benedict Cumberbatch. Now, I think he's a great actor.
Benedict, hang on. Well, how did he's been in Between Two Ferns?
He has.
Benedict Cumberbund.
Cumberbund.
Do you watch Between Two Ferns?
love it.
Yes.
He's very funny. Now, he's another one. Zach Galifianakis is probably another one that's been sort of pigeonholed as well, but we'll move on from him.
Yep.
Anthony Perkins. Obviously
Yeah.
came to fame really as Norman Bates in Psycho. And it seems that almost every role that he has played since, there's not been heaps since Psycho.
Well,
They've just been the sequels.
Psychos, yeah.
There's just been the sequels. But he was in a Agatha Christie. I think he's in Murder on the Orient Express.
Okay.
He always plays that weird,
Yeah.
quirky,
He's
sort of you don't know where he sits.
no. He's yeah.
So he's never
Totally exactly it. No,
Yeah.
he's always going to be Norman Bates.
Yeah. Now, these 3, I think, are pretty obvious. Jason Alexander is always going to be George Costanza,
Oh yes.
right? There is nothing he can do.
Philip. Oh, we do have a category after him, Philip Stuckey.
Yes, we do have. And he's
George is getting.
yeah. It's the Summer of George. It's supposed to be the Summer of George.
Do you hear yourself? Can you hear yourself?
Pin him, George. But Jason Alexander, who is a great actor, and he's incredible in Seinfeld, and he's the best character in that series. But he's always going to be George, and you know what? He hasn't done much since.
Yeah.
Right. And that's because of that. Now, Daniel Radcliffe needs to reach out to this guy, Mark Hamill.
I 100% agree.
Mark Hamill Now, a couple things didn't go his way. Obviously, he was really a nobody, becomes Luke Skywalker in between the filming of A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. He has a car accident
Yeah,
and
got that.
disfigures his face, which they work into, which they essentially write the Wampa scene.
It's just a scar on the chin.
It's not really. He's actually quite disfigured on his face. They actually do quite a
Good
job
makeup.
to
Okay.
fix it up, and he has had surgery moving on to sort of
Right.
hide it. But he is forever
Nah, yeah.
Luke Skywalker, and whereas Harrison Ford was able to, and sure, he plays differing versions of Han Solo, being Indiana Jones, and even when he even when he sort of like even in Presumed Innocent, he's
Yeah,
always that.
Fugitive.
Even in Blade Runner, he's still
Mm.
that. I think the Fugitive is one
It's a
where he
bit
plays a
different,
true
yeah,
good guy,
yeah.
but he's always that edgy
Scoundrel.
character.
He's always
He's always
scruffy
a
looking
scruffy looking nerf herder.
Yeah.
But Mark Hamill's the one.
Look, and when we did Star Wars, we did like Mark Hamill's career. We looked at it; it was all animation, it was all voiceover, it's all
Voice
everything.
work.
Which and he's worked the whole time, but no one wants to see that bloke without a lightsaber in his
No,
hand.
and which is then what Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams did to him in the prequel
Oh,
trilogy
just killed
is a
him,
fucking
destroyed.
disgrace.
Travesty.
Oh, Ryan
absolute
Johnson mainly.
Ryan Johnson is
Ryan Johnson's the one that killed him.
he did, but then the theory is that he was dead the whole time. Skywalker
Oh,
was dead the whole
get
time. You look at
right.
they show when they show the X-wing in the water,
Yeah.
sunken in the
Oh,
water.
right.
They say, well, he was dead the whole time. No, he wasn't dead the whole time.
Yeah.
You destroyed
Yeah.
the legacy character of Star Wars.
They destroyed the freaking name.
I never got over the fact that no one saw that as an opportunity to bring back Leia, Han, and Luke.
No
Mate,
brainer. No brainer.
No brainer. It was all
No
there.
brainer.
Mate, but there is so much written canon
Yeah.
in the
To
books
pull from.
to to create a story that brings them as the legacy characters. Like, look what Top Gun Maverick did.
Yeah, there
I
you go.
talk about this every fucking time.
Yeah.
What Top Gun Maverick did was change. They use enough fan service, so because you've got to cater to the people that grew up with the film.
Have you heard the theory about Maverick?
Yeah, that he's dead.
That he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, so Luke Skywalker's dead now. Maverick's dead.
Maverick's dead.
Yeah, when he died, when he shoots, does the Mach 11
And walks into a
He died.
bar, walks
Yeah.
into a
Oh,
diner.
That's a great.
Yeah. That's a funny. Yeah,
Where
So
am I?
that's the beginning of him.
right.
He's having these flashbacks and he's living this other alternate
Well,
life.
that's yeah. Okay.
Great movie.
But you know,
crazy.
when you mentioned that first thing about get Luke, Leia, Han together. Do you remember when the very first photo came out of the first script reading?
Mhm.
They were sitting. It was like this shot where they were actually sitting on a lounge already. Just seeing them all together
Yes.
was like, oh, they're all together.
Yeah, here we go.
Not once then in the
Were they
movies.
together?
Yeah.
So that couch photo of them reading the script to me was the best bit.
Yeah.
Was better than all those other
Yeah.
movies. It was like, no, that's what we wanted. And then you go and do that
Yeah.
absolute dog shit.
Yeah,
Horrible
wasn't
stuff.
good. Okay, the last one, Ralph Macchio.
Oh, yeah.
Now he is so pigeonholed
Yep, Daniel LaRusso.
that they had to make Cobra Kai just so he worked again.
I've really enjoyed the Cobra Kai TV series.
Have you?
Even to I've got all the way to wherever they're up to now. I'm waiting for the final one. And I have enjoyed it. It's gotten a bit ridiculous, but the first season was fan-freaking-tastic.
Right.
Did you watch the first
No,
season?
I'll have to have a look.
First season
First season is incredible.
fantastic.
Right.
Love it.
It's from Johnny Lawrence's perspective.
Yeah, it is so
It's
good.
very well done.
Mate, William Zabka is William Zabka typecast.
There you go.
Yeah, he's always like that.
But he played Audrey's boyfriend
Yeah,
in
vacation,
Vacation.
or European vacation.
European Vacation.
But you could say then I'm going to say John Aston. Like
Yeah.
like any sort of horror guys. Who are the horror guys? Vincent Price.
Vincent Price,
Uh,
Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Although Christopher Lee did break out as he got older.
Yeah.
Michael Ironside.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, how good a villain's he? 80s villain.
Yeah.
But
I was watching Total Recall last
Jester,
night.
He was Jester in Top Gun.
Yeah.
I watched Top Gun last night too.
Oh, did you?
I watched Top Gun last night.
Held up?
Mate, it is so fucking good.
Yeah, right.
And we have been holding off doing it on the show because we started. The birth of Born to Watch was Top Gun Maverick. We did the
You did a
instant
yeah.
reaction
Yep.
to the
just
opening
Gow
night,
and
me and
Whitey.
Gow.
Yeah.
And then we've actually then our Top Gun Maverick episode's been our best ever episode of all time
Wow.
from an all time downloads. It's
Yeah.
done like well, not 100 times, probably 50 times more downloads than anything else.
It's done like infinity downloads.
But yeah, it has. Gosh. But yeah, those Michael Ironside's a good one because he's just that quintessential 80s bad dude.
Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, it's a good one. Well, Haddonfield from Halloween, he plays
Well, he was the
plays
president.
the doctor.
He was the doctor, but he was the president in Escape from New York.
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go.
He was also the blind guy in
Escape,
The Great Escape.
Great Escape.
Yeah. Was he in Fantastic Voyage?
Oh yeah, he
That
was.
as well.
He was when they went shrunk down
Yeah.
into the body.
It's always seems to be Donald Pleasance in the film.
Yeah.
You know?
There used to be. Yeah, I don't know how long ago he would have died. He was,
I don't know. But
Yeah.
he never seemed to sort of carve out character. It was always Donald's here.
You
Yeah,
know,
Donald.
yeah,
Hey, Donald.
Donald's here.
yeah.
Dr. Loomis in Halloween
Dr.
the place.
Loomis.
That's right, yep.
Yes.
Okay, well done, gentlemen. Good effort. We'll move into star of the show. We'll start with you, Croaksy. Who gets your MVP for Napoleon
It's
Dynamite?
Jon Heder.
Yep.
I think it's a flawless performance. I think he inhabits the skin of that character. It's a fully realized character. It's jam-packed with subtlety, and it may have created a weight around his neck for the rest of his career
Yeah.
because it was so committed that it was hard to see him beyond that. That's how good it is.
Yep. It's very difficult to go past him. Damo?
I 100% agree that John Napoleon is the star of the show. But I do think there, honourable performances by his little gang, by that whole ensemble. Everyone's
Rico's
pretty
an
cool.
honourable mention.
Definitely Rico, Pedro, Deb.
Yep.
Definitely all little honourable mentions. But no, just the character that it created, and he's actually not a bad dancer.
Mate, he's got some freaking
he's-
sick dope
He
moves.
he is a pretty good dancer because I was watching it and I thought he's going to be just doing some stock standard combos sort of thing. He's an 8-count combo, but he's got a little bit of zhuzh in his
He does
moves.
have a bit
So
of a
I did like it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go with Napoleon as well. Jon
Oh, I
Heder.
thought
He
you were
gets.
doing
He gets.
Rico.
Well, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
the movie
No.
doesn't work without
No,
him.
you're right. Yeah.
I think he's the key.
Yep.
He's definitely the key casting.
Oh,
Looks like Croaksy's found a new friend
I just
here.
found a new friend here.
Dog
Yeah.
whisperer.
What's the dog's name?
It's Molly, and you can take it with.
Yeah,
You can
it's all
take it
yours,
with
mate.
you if you
It's all
want.
yours.
Hey, Molly. Your fur feels real nice.
Jesus Christ.
I can make you a sandwich or something.
Okay, now we move into the rank bank.
Ooh.
Few choices here. I'd love to hear what you think. We've got Happy Hands Clubs,
It's a pretty good one.
Nice.
iconic solo dance performances, sign language dancing, votes for Pedro, delusional uncles, pet llamas, squashed pocket tots, broken coccyx,
Ouch.
ligers,
Ooh.
Pegasus crossings. Does anyone notice
Oh,
the
that-
sign on his door?
Yeah.
It's in Napoleon's bedroom. It's a Pegasus cross.
Yeah, right.
Creepy uncles,
Yep.
catfishes.
Nice.
Ooh. No, I think you had two. You had vote for Pedro's or Ligers. I don't know. I think it's
We'll
one of
let our
those.
guest. What do you like? Which one there do you like, Croaksy? Or have you got something from left field?
No, I think a vote for Pedro.
Vote
Okay, votes for Pedro.
Votes
Yep.
for Pedro.
We
yeah.
know exactly what movie that's.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, we'll start with you, Croaksy. Out of 5, how many votes for Pedro are you going to give Napoleon Dynamite?
It's a 4.5 for me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think there's very little wrong here. And the things that I hear people say are wrong with it are the very things I love the most about it.
Okay, that's 4.5. That's right up there. I'll tell you what, we get you on and you don't mess about, do you?
No.
You throw out
Well,
the,
he has.
you
We
throw
have
out
done
the
2 of his
scores.
favourite shows.
You throw out
It's
the
only like my
scores.
favorite comedy.
Yes.
Damo, how many votes for Pedro are you giving Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, look, this thing, it's definitely a movie that grows on you, and I think I did North Shore a little bit of a disservice because the more I've
Shit
seen
movie.
it, and I know it, shit first watch, then second watch, oh, it's actually a bit better, third, yep, and it just gets better and better. And I've watched bits and I laugh.
The kick-ass credit song is the best part of North
Oh,
Shore.
well, that's true as well.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. My first watch was, just wow, this is awkward comedy. But then it's only when you watch it again, but then when you start seeing other people say things or you watch things and then you go, "Oh my God, it's funny." So the last time I watched it, when I watched it the other day, I was laughing my head off because I totally bought into it. Still, I have comedies that I like better, but I'm giving this a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Wow.
Yes.
High praise. Well,
Lucky.
I had this down as a 3 out of 5.
Yep.
Votes for Pedro for me. But I've been impressed. I think that Croxy's infectious love of the movie and the passion and just the
Passion
constant
or
quoting.
something.
I guess just the constant quoting and then and I guess it's you start to think about the impression it's had on popular culture. And I think for that, it gets another half point for me.
Nice.
So it gets 3.5 votes for Pedro for me. Now, that gives us 4 votes for Pedro.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what
You've
it
done the
is.
maths already?
I have. I'm very good at stuff like that.
Jeez, he's good in.
4
Uh,
points or something.
What I'm
Thanks,
what I'm
Pedro.
going to do is we'll see where this.
You're the only one I know person with the moustache. What did he say there?
Yeah, something.
You're the only one at school with a moustache.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, this puts Napoleon Dynamite
Mhm.
in some pretty esteemed company here. So we've got The Long Kiss Goodnight
Well, good movie.
on 4.
Yeah, solid.
So that's 4 asses and umptions.
Oh, yes.
Uh, Step Brothers, 4 pieces of white dog shit.
Yeah, wow.
Beverly Hills Cop, 4 bananas in the tailpipe.
Wow.
And Crocodile Dundee with 4 bidets.
Like everything there is comedy.
They're all comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it sits
Action comedy, but comedy.
it sits just below on 4.02 Fellatio Bears, The Shining.
Oh.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Wow.
And just above on 3.94 elaborate European flat tops. Commando. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
John, stick your head out,
Yeah,
John.
just stick your head around the corner.
One
John.
shot, John. Come on.
John.
Johnny Matrix
John.
has done pretty well.
Yeah, Johnny Matrix is well, the Sloan gave that a 5.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
thinking,
so that sort of really pumped its tires up. But I've got to say, it's a lot of fun, Commando. There's no doubt. Okay, so if you loved this, if you loved Napoleon Dynamite, what are you going to love? Damo.
I'm going for the other Jon Heder movie, Blades of Glory. I watched it last night.
Fucking funny, man.
Yeah, because I in my IQ, I did record that
Oh,
probably a
there
couple of
we go.
months ago, and I watched it again last night with so he's Jimmy McElroy in that.
Yep.
And he teams up with Chaz Michaels,
Twin
who's
dongs.
Will Ferrell. Mate,
Michael.
Oh my
honestly, have you seen?
He's
I
sex
love
on
it.
ice. He's sex on ice.
Yes. I mean the ice choreo, their faces,
Oh, God.
so bloody funny.
And she is not a whore.
Yes. I find it actually a funnier movie than Napoleon.
Wow,
Dynamite.
okay.
I really
I
really
love
like
Blades of Glory.
I
I
love
love
it.
Blades of
Yeah.
Glory.
Yeah.
Totally very different because it is that Will Ferrell type, but the Jon Heder is a lot like Napoleon. He's a bit more a sophisticated Napoleon and he's got skills.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
it's a top movie. Blades of
A
Glory.
good call. Good call.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah. It's good. You got another choice? Anything you suggest,
Oh,
Croxy?
look, I think I mentioned it earlier. Life Aquatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think,
good call.
look, it's worth going back and giving that another look.
Good
There's
call. Shit
something
movie.
going on
Yeah.
there.
I
Good
need
call.
to.
Shit
I will.
movie.
Where's Anderson?
Okay, I'm going a little left field here. Bernie. Jack Black, Shirley MacLaine, Matthew McConaughey.
Love it.
It is
called?
so fucking good.
It's
Bernie.
great.
I'll give you what it is
Based
because
on a
that's what
true
I do.
story.
It's a true story. Small town Texas, an affable mortician strikes up a friendship with a wealthy widow. Though when she starts to become controlling, he goes to great lengths to separate himself from her grasp. Jack Black is excellent in this movie. So is everyone, actually. The 3 leads are great. It's really good. It's well worth a watch. If you've not seen Bernie,
Yeah.
track it down. It's great.
No, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, it's very much its own thing, but it's a murder.
Yeah, it's a murder mystery sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah, it's very good. You know what it reminds me a little bit? It reminds you a little bit of Fargo.
You
Oh,
got
okay.
it.
So
There you go.
it's that sort of
Yeah.
feeling behind it.
Yes.
Although this is an actual true story, not a made up true story.
Yeah, good connection though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very good. Boys, we're at the end, and it's been a pretty cracking episode. I
Oh.
said at the start that it was highly anticipated, this one for me, because I didn't know where we were going to end up.
It's only been like the best episode ever.
Yes.
It's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of laughs. I don't think we've quoted a movie more than what we've quoted this film throughout an episode. Next week is the start.
That's
In honor of Carl Weathers, R.I.P., the great man, Apollo Creed, we're going to start with the original Rocky, 1976's Rocky.
Nice.
Sylvester Stallone punches his way into popular culture.
Italian Stallion.
Movie wins Best Picture. It cements Stallone as a superstar.
And started the drinking craze as Napoleon Dynamite had.
It did. So there's some tenuous threads.
There's a link, huge
a link.
link. With
I
Napoleon
didn't
Dynamite.
understand a word you just said.
But Croaksy, it's been an absolute pleasure having you join us here on the casting couch.
I'm about to pass out from this wig that I'm
you're-
wearing.
Oh, is
Oh, is that a wig? I didn't
Yeah,
realise.
yeah.
I didn't
It's getting
realise.
so hot. I feel like just shaving my hair off.
Yeah. Well, we've
It
got
was getting really hot.
we've got a bit of marketing to do before you get to go.
We we're big with some sing outs in
Yes.
this and the final wedding scene in this once again the credits. Kip sings an absolute ball terror of a song, and he's just the voice, his tone, his the cut through of his voice. I think we need to sing it out.
Okay, let's go.
All right,
Okay.
are we ready?
Right. We all good here?
Three.
Okay. We'll just go as far as we can before we lose it.
Do we all remember the melody?
I think so.
All right.
Would we do a
Why do
Will
you
you
love
love
me?
Why
Why do you leave me? Always and forever. We met in the chat room. Now our love can fully bloom. Sure, the world was great,
but
but you make me salivate. Yes, I love technology, but not as much as you see. But I love technology, always and forever.
Our love is like a flock of doves.
Take it away.
Flying up to heaven above.
Always and forever. Always and forever.
Yes, our love is truly great.
Always and forever.
Why do you need me? Why do you love me?
Always and forever.
Oh, what a song.
So stupid.
That was
Oh,
brilliant.
wow.